So already the one as if you casana. Now hen and Nimudian I say, when I dream on Kenyans as Mbia Mao. Say, hey, medias asema, a mouth for pay tia to jack. Says mining on the here. Na ye no, the air can say, and your mining phono, I was your so, and the quiet no, and ye no na ye can, and no ye ba. Ye bedi ujumana, oh, bad bay. Sabre 2 minutes monsa.
Say no na me also media theory as some Americans say oh wow. Now question number 1, what is the difference between Nia or no King and then your President Mahama Aka and then your Professor Nana James Waka and say na wo mu trabono no.
That's right.
Now una wa bemu. What does Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh mean by say now political parties must come together and sign a pact? I actually say you know bianye galamsey na say you are the government, you are the freaking government. Take charge, take control, resolve the matter. Now we've given you 8 years. May I of a President Akufo-Addo say he will put his presidency on the line. Any area.
Also, no political risk.
So Ghanaians should have gotten rid of him. You see, when they are because we show your constitution, no ma. You were article I think 90 or so, 90 to 91. You to me a remove president.
Okay.
And you know
impeachment.
Of course, baby, I mean me free banana yamana kwada dada.
UK.
Of course. Was it last year, 2 years ago? You saw how we got rid of 3 prime ministers.
That's right.
Back to back. Sani I think Ghana no you entertain your patience no long suffering no. Yeah, I'm see you need you home. New York Council says yeba after 8 years.
Okay.
Oba ben be moi.
Yeba.
That is my question to Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh. And Napo, Doc, Wono sabi usua ade wo UK. You understand these things. Why are you taking Ghanaians for granted? You know, I find it very disrespectful. Oba ben biemwa. We've given you 8 years.
Was it the casa no ebu yenimtia?
Of course, very disrespectful. Of course.
Wow.
Very disrespectful.
Chem nientia was it yenimtia bu.
Because yama 8 years.
Yes.
8 years in the man. Napo to me napo sabi meti ho chen bi penyini. Na mekura minim say galamsey has been a thing from Yankwara Brim. We've all seen it getting worse as the times have gone by. The past 8 years it has gotten, worse and worse and worse and worse. And to mobile, it should have been part of the plan. What you say? We've been listening to the Minerals Commission man, no new technology, and what does he mean by say mobile being BMwa? The mobile the past 8 years. Mobile no be na munim problems no. Na galamsey nka ho. One for game plan be amba mo de be control and manage galamsey no. Amaya in a very sustainable manner. Na afa na 8 years na so awie no. Na mwanya de mu benya free mu awie no. E na se mo san ba. Not just a more sabi mubu yankwasia. And
is that
to benefit? And it's still a looting like there's no tomorrow. No, and one that's so cost so I couldn't mine now no fourth estate for the reporter by some pine money women's organizer was son nominee Mammy K. Jimfu Amona idea yating and in looting and they go so cost into on your the idea they want to put out to the public and they say about to national. And more than train, you're too abaniria.
Not the more kicker.
But there were 51 days to go. Wow. 51 days is still a lot of time. Come up as some ye bibia. But maybe uncle see baby. We saw we Professor Frimpong Boateng report. And bottom line, galamsey issues. We must change the government. Solution number 1 is to change the government.
The government. But another
needs to understand we don't need him to tell us that Ghana
for gold for oil on the free mobile.
And I say, gold for oil now contributed to Yensua. As I say, Yemubimo, Eka Dr. Bawomi Aka who be any Yensu and Yensa, we are justified. And I think that Napona Kasaso Aka. And media media bottom line, Omonko. Na President Mahama Bayemra. Fresh mind, fresh pair of eyes, fresh ideas. Near how you better tackle some many. Say Imam for na Emma Muslim community youth nibi asori etiano.
That's right.
One say a hono oyi honi free. It's a game. Napo is playing the game. But me question to Napone say na onim sa sata no mo na opposition. The enti na one protest. The enti na yante Naponka.
Okay.
And if so questioner, why didn't John Mahama implement it back then? Okuje why did you make it a priority as education minister?
Remember, so what John Mahama buying incompetent.
But then you found the need to implement our comprehensive sexual education
with the backing of UNESCO.
Absolutely. And enya Quran na Sam George no anti-LGBT bill by. And it shouldn't napo be kind of pushing the president, say he should allow for Yanfa bill no kramra to the table. So
fantastic.
that rather no much the last guy no the court the blockades binum SEC kwemo affirmative action bill by adia kranche no watrepen no asente e levy by adia kranche no watrepen no asente LGBT de no nko ade
what you want to say?
Until you should tell you say Naponia no kre no can.
But what's a mind game na no play no?
And Napona said you okay.
They will grab books. For video na tire ebra na wo him book no.
Anti Napo ebe ya asambra na bekan. No.
Evidence no way.
Napo ebe ya asambra na bekan kan mo kire yen.
But such strategy we ya na efa. Ebetima magana bi anya adwem say eh evidence bi o.
Prior to 2016 and anasa niema we efa NM said your social media say prevalent that it won't fly. Ya dream obie. Ya dream obie. Na say so your voices and we are amplifying our voices. It's yam play efa. That is why we take to social media. Ni ansho ya dia botre ni ya papa no me ya church ni yam am ye maame ne ye nuanom ne se be ya papa no wo nkurase na de no omo nso ate no ma se. There be okura krata ne se o him na otumi bue mu e point say aha anase say ni say na nti na ono obaaye no se bi oba be implement ye. And ade say nya de nti no won push president man sign anti-LGBT bill no. And then one more yes, I dilly no. And it's a base I would say a na one shut down co school. No one was in a pocket a crata and catching an apostle one samra and mamma be and crata no one sanking kind. No one chile baby kujeto, sebio, baby kujeto a blackwa, and now sebi or person or this idea about better or mine. So
I am radiant Alba.
President Mahama, somebody a cassia kai, Yabekama diachi. I'm looking at it from a very moral standpoint. Papa no gan, Yayana Bonnie. Yaya President Mahama Boni pa Yaya Boni in the sense that womu di intro na yemu bebre no for some of us na ebusuya from a busuya standpoint for some of us tribal ya kanfo enti no say MPP kasadia the MPP can be ya no kre MPP intellectuals womu esua de ohun saade enti no we believed them ya ji womu di President Mahama nye nya botre anhwehwe no womu omo ba ye 8 years ene ye hu no kware a e wa asemu enti say ye hu no kware wa asemu no mu dia na chese papa no he's been robbed of the second term.
That's right.
And morally no we must do right by him and give him back his second term because e kono so nya 8 year stretch te said ye yanom fo nya 8 year stretch a ye hu hwe ya ena nka ye betumi ajage no ye na 4 years impo hwe ne papa itumi ye oti ase it we need to give him back his 4 years as a nyankopon kron fa Ghana for ye bone enche for some me Ghana ni ameti akwentum terminal 3 so terminal 3 airport ne keke kura e ya dia esombo de Ghana we saw other Africans coming into Ghana na wo mudi hu adanse na now no can Simbi ma was like wow such a visionary leader or say no ko baby na ono otena ne presidential na em say ono ni seat is on the left side na plane ni 2 ya ohun ships na ewo yensu no so bebre a wo munya kwan ko harbor no be of Orlando no ye phone call no say dia na ekoso wo harbor ho no ene ye chirechire mo chire no omo chirechire mo chire na no say debi mo resolve it and o say panyin no ne kasa ne bisa ne say wo be ma ye no say me ma wo kwan ne dia wo be ye bia meta mo chi and only extension of ye harbors ne adia so it tells you University of Ghana Medical Center. Hospital no share a Ridge Hospital said you see here ni say bank hospital so fra ono
Bank of Ghana
Kotokraba market KJT market roads ni adia ye nyina ye circle Dubai. So you feel proud as a Ghanaian say oh mine no and then President Mahama internet you use to Ghana have fiber optics internet ICT center we see na no owadre pa digitalization ni ade oyebi so we share nano ba we aka so the UK Oyster card system bi ba me catch almost say enya ade obetumi aye only for us to find that's why it took the UK about 20 years to roll out a pilot. And sebi kasem na what we see kasem na betches we betumi aye we see kasem na discipline sikana muni bi discipline wuni bi o better no waye oti ase but then we President Mahama amresto asane mani nyina with me roll be out because it was during that time and he challenging Dr. Bawumia and a video started resurfacing of Metro Mass buses na John Dumelo no na na Mark Brown mo touch and go system no and you cannot tell me so one way more digital you have a more digital mindset than President Mahama does oti ase and so for me whichever way you look at it nemre na aso Nyankopon wo kwan fa so ye na de nyina in between Honorable Kennedy Japan be pie mu me support you know because I thought it's okay ono there he cuts across baby for me I was looking at that one person who could really root out Chebi Mafia Anye. The next person is President Mahama. So then let me throw my weight behind him. And this time around, I wasn't going to sit abroad and be doing things on social media. Memra ground na so make a crime to me.
But is it not interesting? Say Kennedy, Japan yana urutu money, and now what the na what the akwataba omiechi. At the end of the na adwiase sasa.
No dear, mean to be going to.
What do you
I feel disappointed.
As Obia now will feel is
of course, and I've made it public. And Honorable Kennedy Japan Nankasa enim. It's me catch the Honorable Nankasa, on phone. Say me for President Mahama. Me catch me so Honorable. And so TSC, the JDM beba. Me some 4 years or 4 years. Nasa opesa wo samba. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. But for that principles na ye shaky. I know they young can ye boy. But in America, actually, Ghana for one say Kennedy Japan Honorable is still Kennedy Japan. Be beyond society. And to end, was he stay focused. The end was he reading in between the lines. Not near or catch ye first, no answer no Sakodi Dr. Bawumi. That must still stand. Until when he says they have looted Ghana like there's no tomorrow, it still stands. When he says
that's it,
of course. Now, haven't they looted Ghana like there's no tomorrow? Are they still not looting?
But if they have looted, why would you say we should vote for the looter?
That is why we are bypassing whatever Honorable Kennedy Japan said. That is why we are not listening to him. And we've told him we are not going to listen. Because, Sebe, it doesn't make any sense with the greatest of respect to Honorable Ken. But it does not make any sense. Said the yem we ye fear ponon to homa armed robbers and mungra yedem. Resign the yem we or mine pono ento Emma armed robbers and some man be loot another 4 years. And to no Honorable Ken Eka. And then I'm a cheetah for baby. No, you decided to say, there are a lot of Kennedy Japan supporters campaigning for President Mahama. Because we want to prove a point. You say your stamp is adian. Amadachi lead the bia or baba any ebekasano. Everyone say Ghanaians are not to be taken for granted. Okay. You really cannot compare the two. Oshe Professor Nana Jane. They're both intellectuals. Napo is a medical doctor. Professor Nana Jane, obviously, the credentials. But Mamina carries an extra grace. Wow, she carries this grace on her. Ojina homa Ghana for mine or mining yinana. Edi no nyam kesi beba Ghana hopa. Enyuma waye across the continent in Pusebi was serving one name was serving continents nema globally yinano or ye nyuma bebre. And no nyam one it odi nyam beba Ghana. Ghanaian women, 52% majority of the population. It's about time. And this time around, we are not going to miss. We're going to make history. We're going to shatter the glass ceiling by making Professor Nana Jane the first female vice president. Because I saw occupy executive office. Ghana of course, we have to be intentional about and also so. And when we say feminism, but we have to be very intentional. So we should Kamala Harris there was a black woman be or a Zoom conference. Yeah. There were about 44,000 women on that Zoom conference. Yeah. Right after, at the end of that Zoom conference, she made an appeal to white women in America. Yeah. White women came on board. The second Zoom conference had about over 300,000 women. True. Then they made an appeal to black men and all men. So they were very intentional, say yes or yeah or banti that is one major aspect. Yes, here. Now what the Professor Nana Jane compare Napoa, the difference is like night and day. And I saw her Napoa very radical sebi Napo feels said to 1992 sebi kurasi some type of politics and then masema not me be dear terminomines debi yeah pobi or yeah level headed, you have a good head screwed on your neck. And we've seen Napo. I'm interested in no radio station. So that's not the kind of leader we're looking for. All right. We deserve better.
We deserve better. Yeah, the community was a control.
Yeah, best Ghana for one say no quarry the eba kope. Emrenason, President Mahama, Abatwana Yanidia. Let's just do the right thing. Yantua Banama, His Excellency, order number 8 on the ballot paper to draw polling station what that day now what trauma o share NDC logo umbrella na obianim what President Mahama looks like now what the okukromutina esiho politics so said the selfish interest and I've been an energy minister now vice president potential now put in prospect
it can
be a gum but so what here ya o ade am pe Mr. Alankwajo Chire Martin hu so nie President Mahama kan ye pe Mr. Allen ne campaign back with Gina stage to
know
see obi bia wo beka se enye adwuma bia na wonte economics ne sa ne me ya 24 na yanyina yakwa abrochire ono na post be o student wa abroch na point me kan kire me say throughout his student days in the UK wa anya adwuma be mienu miense bi amfa support ne ho what you say 24-hour economy ni de it has come to stay na ade anyankopon ayama na ye me de say the youth MSNDC manifesto launch and a youth ne de formula be by almost say 133 formula 133 and it is enkwara na tiase a wo panyine na wo so won tiase